face it, sometimes life doesn't go the way we plan or how we expect it, but that's when God can really move and work. I have Treyvon Manning, and he's here to show how he is living proof that when you trust God, big things can happen. Thank you so much for being on the set with us today.
Oh man, thank you for having me.
Of course, I'm glad that you put in those hashtags, hashtag blessing, and we also have a friend in common, and,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
that's how you're on set with us today.
Yeah, that's it's so exciting. I'm blessed to be here. I'm just thankful for the opportunity.
Yeah, I'm excited that there's people like you that are willing to be vulnerable and share their story. I just found out that you're the 91st person to sit in that chair and share stories of God's
Hey
faithfulness.
now, 91.
I know, right? Isn't that amazing?
That's amazing.
It is,
That's so
it is.
exciting.
So how did you get to this set? So you started posting WOE, Words of Encouragement
Yes,
post,
ma'am.
and that's kind of how I found you.
Right.
Did you ever expect that you would all of a sudden start doing interviews and sharing your story?
No, and that's like the whole, that's what's so wild about it. It was never intended to get me here. It was just more so to encourage people, you know? And it was never oh, if I post this, I'll be on TV or I'll be speaking to kids, speaking here, speaking there. It was just more so just an outlet and a neutral way for people to find motivation, you know? People are so on their phone so much, Instagram, Snapchat, and if I felt that if I had a good positive message, it can get passed around and people will have a different vibe, a different thing to look at as opposed to just looking at other people's lives, you know, being able to find motivation to inspire themselves. So that's what it was.
So that's what inspired you to start posting inspirational content.
For the most part, it was just really I've always loved speaking. You know, I'd done it when I was a kid a little bit, then I did it in high school a little bit, then I stopped, and I came back to it, and then it was just this is me, you know?
Yeah, but you didn't always expect to, be the guy who posts things on social media of words of encouragement.
Oh, definitely not.
What type of guy were you a year ago?
A year ago, I was just a substitute teacher and a behavior therapist. That was it.
What is a behavioral therapist?
So a behavior therapist, I guess you can put it as someone who works with kids. Usually kids who have disabilities, diagnosis. Autism is a big spectrum of kids we work with. And really we're just helping kids who have disabilities live the most normal life possible, really.
And how'd you get into that?
When I was back in college, I worked with a family, the Eppards in Greenville, Illinois. I worked with a family, the Eppards, and that's where it started, working with their son who had autism. And it's a game changer. It's a whole different ball game that a lot of people don't have a lot of knowledge about, but getting involved in it was really eye-opening. And then I came back home, and then I worked at a group home with teens who have autism. And then it transpired to actually get more involved, to now became an official behavior therapist.
And you are a man of God.
Yes, ma'am.
So how do you balance being a behavioral therapist and also being a man of God?
Well, I think being a man of God it's not really tough. It's a lifestyle. That's just how I was raised and brought up. I remember when I was a kid, I told my mom, I said, I love you more than anything in the world. And she stopped me abrupt, no, you love God first, and then you love your parents. And as a kid,
yes, Mama, yes.
It don't make no sense, God, they never buy me no food. As a kid, I didn't understand it. But as you get older and you see all the things that he does and all the things he just takes care of, it makes sense now. So shout out to moms for putting that in me at a young age. And I've always thought about that, and it's always carried with me. But I think being a man of God is it's a lifestyle now. So it's not really having to balance it, but it's just there, and it helps so much.
Was there ever a time during your youth years where you questioned your faith at all?
Oh, definitely. Because as an athlete, when you get hurt or when you don't get the big offers, the big looks that you feel you deserve, it's definitely times when you question. So after high school, I had my first surgery on my knee. And
you have knee problems?
Oh, man,
me too. Me too.
These ain't the same knees I had when I was a kid, I tell you that. But when I had my first surgery, I remember getting in the car, I just cried. And you just feel like you're not ever going to be the same. You feel like you're not worth it. You feel like, why would somebody take a chance with somebody who just has knee surgery? And then thankfully, like maybe like 6 weeks later, I got a call from a coach in Greenville, Coach Patton, and he said, "We still want you to come and we still want you to run track for us."
Wow.
And you tell me God wasn't shining, man. He was shining, and it just made, it's a game changer. You know, everything kind of like shifted then. You go from feeling like down and out to feeling like I still have a chance, you know, and you take advantage of it. So,
what is it like being a Christian and realizing that life isn't always easy?
I think that's tough, and that's a huge problem that a lot of people deal with, especially people who aren't Christians, because they look at us as Christians and be like, "You got this God who loves you and takes care of you, but why is there people like who are Christians who aren't rich, who aren't famous, who aren't having the best lives?" But I think it's just like, it's a journey and it's a roller coaster.
Amen.
And we all ride it and we all go through it. And we all have our low points, but we definitely all get to the top, you know. We always get to the top.
We have the same destination.
Exactly. We always get to the top. And it may be when you're 25, it may be when you're 50, it may be when you're 12, it may be when you're 106, you know. But eventually we will all get to the top and have our happy moments. So I think it's life, and I love the fact that he lets us have our freedom in our life and control what we can control. But ultimately he's the puppeteers, you know. He got us going where we need to go.
Exactly. I'm like, can you take the front wheel, please?
Exactly. Especially with gas prices rising. I want you to drive, Lord. You drive all the cars and we good.
We should make a meme.
I like that.
That's a good meme.
That is a good one.
Okay, if you're good at making memes, you make one.
Ooh. My sister's techie, so we might be in luck.
Okay, all right. We'll make sure to make that happen.
Yes.
You were talking about the top. What does that top level mean to you in your life?
I think for me, now in this part, it's just continue to spread happiness, see happiness, because I feel like we're in a dark, dark time right now. A lot of people think it's great, but I personally feel we're in a dark time. And it's just a lot of hate, a lot of like misguided people right now. And I feel like once we get to a place where love is love and love is really out there and love is really pure and genuine, that I feel like, you know, I can really get to a point where I'm like, the world is a good place again, you know? And it's tough just because I feel like we've gotten so selfish, and it's about what can I do for me, for me, for me, for me, for me. There's nothing wrong with that, you know, but it comes to a point in time where we have to look out.
Individualistic.
Exactly. But it comes to a point in time we have to look out for our brothers and our sisters next to us. Because once upon a time, like back in the old days, there were villages and they all thrived, you know. But now we have like this little place thriving, this place is thriving, but people in between are struggling. So I think for me, when I get to the top, I think we'll be in a place as a collective where everyone is thriving together.
Once you start seeing everybody as family, it makes it so much easier to actually care about the people around you.
Definitely. And it takes a minute to get there. You have to go through something, and usually it takes when like people you don't expect to come into your life and help you. That's when you realize like it's actually more people out there who aren't blood, who are family. And
Who are some of those people for you?
Well, I got a lot. When I went to, like I said, I went to Greenville, Illinois for college, and it's really nothing there but Dollar General and the CVS, and good people, you know. I've had family take me in, like the Bruners. That's family now, you know. Shout out to my sister Taylor and my brother Mike, man.
And his cute niece.
Yes, or nephew. We don't know yet, but we're coming. And it's just a blessing when you have people around you who really want the best for you. The Sunderlands, they were amazing people who took me in and watched out for me. The Pattons, Easleys, the Grants. I can go on and go on. It's just so many people in my life who stepped up and helped make me to the man I am today. Like, so mama is Mama Bear. She's gonna make sure I'm straight. And she was never able to really come out to college. But I was in such a good hand. She had no worries or no stress, nothing like that, because she knew that I was gonna be taken care of.
That's fantastic.
So,
That's amazing.
yeah.
And if you're watching, you can do what Treyvon is doing right now. You can use your social media accounts to inspire others. What advice do you have for people to take their boring feed of filters and fake reality and turn it into something that can actually inspire others?
You can't care. Don't worry about it. Just press post and go. Press post and go. That's the best thing you can do. Because we get so wrapped up in like, it's not gonna get so many likes. It's not gonna do this well. And I've had that with like some videos. I would think about it like, this one's not doing too well. But then it'd be the video that most people are talking about. And the problem we have is people are always gonna watch us and watch you, but they might necessarily not like it, double tap it. But they know about it. I can guarantee you they saw it.
Well, it's like this. We don't know how many people are actually being impacted by it, right?
Exactly.
But we still do it. You're still here sharing your story.
Definitely.
So yeah, just post. I love
Yeah,
that.
post and go, and don't worry about it. Because we all got beautiful souls and beautiful spirits. It's inspirational and motivational things about all of us, you know? And some people have overcome big struggles. And that was one of my biggest things going for. Like, I felt like I didn't have a jaw-dropping, eye-catching story that would make people want to listen to me, you know? Like, I wasn't sick or anything like that. I wasn't, like, overly hurt or no crazy story, no car, something like that. So I thought I didn't have anything enough to make people want to, you know, listen to me. So I was hesitant for a while. But then it got to a point where it's like, might as well, you know? Because you just never know who's going to be drawn to your story, who's going to be drawn to your authenticity. Your authenticity. You can always learn no matter what, no matter when. You always learn. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Who's going to be drawn to your realness, you know? So it's just post and go, and don't worry about it.
The realness that he's talking about, actually, like, I feel like so many people are missing that. So when you are being real, that's what really stands out.
Definitely.
It doesn't matter if it's not like going with the norm or anything like that. Like, just the fact that you're different, that makes you stand out.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So you did grow up in a house that loved the Lord. What were some of the trials and tribulations that you have been through, though, throughout your journey of life?
Well, I mean, like I said, I had surgery. As an athlete, that's probably one of the biggest things for me, you know. Wasn't highly recruited coming out of high school. I mean, when my uncle passed when I was a junior in college, that was pretty tough because I was the first big, like, passing in my family. So that was, uncle passed, and then I had surgery. So I lost my uncle, then I lost my track season.
How did you deal with your uncle passing away?
It was really tough, like crazy tough. And I was away, and I couldn't just come home because, you know, airplane prices aren't that friendly.
Not really.
You know, not at all. They're not that friendly.
You gotta have your incognito mode
exactly,
on your Google.
especially them abrupt when you just got moments when you have to go, you know. So for me, it was just, I was surrounded by great people, great teammates, great coaches, and it was just endless love because I was definitely in a drought. Like, classes failed, classes dropped, like, just the whole mentality, the whole mindset of, like, everything's gonna be okay it was not okay. Because I felt like you took somebody from me, you know, and then you took my track season.
I also lost my uncle in 2013, and it was very, very difficult.
Yeah, definitely. And it's just like you grow up with, like, this whole mentality, like, my family's immortal, you know, like, we're never going to go.
It's
and,
true.
You know, and then when you see, like, other people who lose family members, relatives, and stuff like that, and it's like, wow. But then it's not till you lose somebody from yours that you realize, like, every day isn't truly promised.
Tomorrow's not guaranteed.
Not at all. So then you really get to a point where it's like, I gotta do me now. I can't wait no more. Because the longer I wait, who knows when my door is closing. So.
Exactly. Yeah. For instance, if you didn't have tomorrow, what would you want to do today?
If I didn't have tomorrow, what would I do? Well, today is my brother's birthday. So we would definitely be together as a family, but we would definitely have to do something that's very, like, givey, you know? My mom always raised us with the mindset it's better to give than receive. So it would be family givey time. That's what it would probably be. Family givey time. We would have some fun, but we definitely go out and give.
Live every
in
moment
some capacity, you know. Yeah.
Very family oriented.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, that's just that's just keeps you grounded, you know. You got people who are gonna be 100% real with you at all times about everything, and like even like with the videos I post, they always get sent to the family to make sure that it's straight, it's correct.
You got a whole fan base.
Exactly, and I have to make sure that what I'm putting out is like true, authentic, real. And you know, when you see it, when you see something, it's like it's good.
So you have like a Manning filter. Your family.
Yeah.
Okay, you got that right.
Exactly.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
I did.
okay.
At first,
You didn't
did I
get it.
realize?
His last name's Manning, so you know he's Manning
I definitely
filter.
got that. Yeah. So I definitely have my realness to keep me grounded, and they do.
That's good.
So, yeah.
You do stay super busy though, with work and making videos and family. How do you balance everything?
So I mean, that you have to. One thing I learned from being a behavior therapist is like it's making a schedule. And I'm not the most organized person in the world. I'm getting there, but I'm not the most organized person in the world. I'm getting there. And so being able to like set yourself up for the day, for the week, work, set the time to make a video, and then set your time to edit it. And then I usually see my family on the weekends or so. And it's just about like giving yourself enough time to get something done, but not giving yourself too much, because that's when you become frustrated with it, and that's when you become irritated, and things don't get done the way they should be done.
It's having priorities.
Yes. See?
Yeah, you can make time for anything if it's a priority.
Oh, definitely. So I think it's just keeping my schedule straight, keeping my priorities straight, and then going from there.
How do you stay encouraged? Because you are pouring into the lives of others, so how do you also pour into yourself?
Like I said, my family, my boys, my friends, a lot of it is coming back. Like I do feel it coming back. A lot of the love is coming back. People check in, they make sure I'm straight. Just endless love. Like it is. I've said it many times. It is tiring giving it out, because a lot of times when you give it out, you don't receive the same amount.
Exactly. I think that's why we see so many things happening with public speakers and pastors, because they're constantly giving, and we have to be pouring back into ourselves.
Yeah. So it's me giving out, but it's so many people, you know, giving what they can back to me, and it adds up, and it's just a lot of love. And they can like, you know, like when you're giving, and then you stop like giving for a minute, people like they get aware.
They know something.
Yeah. So then you got people checking in on you, and it's like, you okay? I'm praying for him, doing this. So it's like it's coming around, and it's just like to stay ultimately motivated. You see my niece Lauren, and then my other nieces and other nephews, because I have younger kids under me who understand that. I understand that I'm a factor, you know. I'm somebody they can look up and see somebody doing something. So I got to keep going, because I want them to feel like they can make it at any given moment. So.
What pushes you to keep your head on straight and keep on that straight and narrow path that God has for you?
A big thing is never settle. When I was in college, my sister Chelsea, she would always tell me, never settle. And that was how we ran our race, was to just never settle. Because I had a tendency to get going and then chill for a minute and then sprint at the end. And she was like, never settle, bro. And it was just like, keep going. And I listened, and that's always stuck with me. And now so that I'm doing something that I really love, and I'm like still in the beginning of it, it's just about keep going, never settle. Never think your one video is good enough, you know. Always keep going, always keep pushing, always keep encouraging, always just keep giving more. Because one day, you're not gonna have anything to give. So give what you can now and just keep going.
Do you ever feel like you're not enough? Because I feel like sometimes when we put ourselves in that position where we're trying to inspire others and we're trying to give words of encouragement, sometimes we feel like, oh, I shouldn't be sharing this.
Yeah, definitely. You definitely do, especially because you don't, like I said, I don't have like a crazy story, or I don't have a crazy background like that to where I know. And a lot of times people are going through deep, deep things, and it's so tough to get going and say, hey, it's going to be okay, it's going to be okay. But we really never know the magnitude of somebody's story. We never know the depth of someone's story, or like what they've truly gone through. And they can probably have heard, it's going to be okay a million times, you know, and it's never really okay. Sometimes I don't feel like I'm in the right position to offer my advice to somebody, or like, well, if I'm dealing with somebody who's older, like, how am I going to encourage you, you know? And it's just, you know, God will equip you with the right words
being humble, really.
Exactly.
Thinking that you're not enough, and that there's a song called Nobody by Casting Grounds, right? Have you heard of it? Have you heard it?
No.
Okay, anyway, so it says, like, it's basically about being nobody. Like, you don't want the light on you. Like, you don't want credit for it. Like, at the end of the day, like, you want it to be God working through you.
Definitely. And we had a saying back when I was in college, I am third. You know, God, others, than myself.
I like that. Yeah. I am third. That should be on a t-shirt.
Hey, now, shout out Coach P. You know?
I'm sure they already have it on a t-shirt, though.
Uh-huh.
Most likely.
We do.
Most likely. Now, we didn't hear, how did the whole sports journey, like, what is it now? Did it ever end? Where did it end up?
Now you can catch me at a local 24 giving buckets and then being carted off in a wheelchair because the knees gave out. But that's about it. I mean, I can't really do too much now. I try to get out and stay active. I'm trying to take it easy, let my knees recuperate, so that by the time my nieces and my nephews get a little older, I can still beat up on them a little bit. But I want to be able to one day play around with my kids and give them buckets. But I got to take it easy because if I don't, they're going to be pushing me around in a wheelchair.
How did you hurt your knee?
So the first one was football, and then my second surgery came from basketball.
Oh, man. I wish I hurt my knees doing cool things. I did not. No, I'm serious. The first time I hurt my knee, I was making quesadillas, and I was cutting cheese, and I slipped in the kitchen and dislocated my knee. That's just one time.
Okay.
So anyways, I've dislocated both my knees multiple times.
Wow.
So, but I wasn't playing sports, not as cool as you.
And that's a misconception. I mean, you can get hurt walking outside the next day.
I know. You can slip in the kitchen while making quesadillas. So sad.
That's crazy.
So sad. I should have came up with a fake story.
I would have too, but it's a good one though. It's authentic, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, of course. There's a time where I was on a dirt bike, crashed into a 7-foot dry creek bed, and hurt a lot of things. It happens, though.
I hear you.
It's all good. Would you change that, though? Like, if you could take back your knee surgery, would you want to do that? Like, if you could prevent hurting yourself, would you want to do that? Or do you like where you ended up today?
Oh, I love being where I'm at today. I feel like if I could go back and do it all over again, would I change anything? No. I just couldn't, because where I am today is in a great spot, you know.
It's exactly where you were supposed to be.
Exactly. I mean, if I can go back and do it again, I probably would have scored more points or something. You know, that's about it. Caught more passes. But other than that, I don't know. I don't wish I could have it over again, because it's brought me so many things. It's taught me so many things, and it's helping me grow into like being somebody incredible. So, and it's kind of like, it's slowed me down a little bit, because sometimes, you know, you get to moving so fast in life, and God got to find a way to pull the brake, you know. And my brake just happened to be my knee.
And it happens in ways that you least expect it, or like ways that you would never want it to happen. Right. And when it does happen, you're like, God, this is not a blessing.
Exactly. And then you get 2 years down the road, it's like, you got me.
Exactly.
You know? Yeah.
Exactly. I've definitely had moments in my life where I'm like, I don't know what you're doing, God, but I do not like this. Couldn't we have done it a different way?
Exactly. And then once you get through a couple of them, now it's like everything becomes like, okay, God, what you trying to teach me? What did I do?
You have to be expectant.
Exactly.
Expectant that something good is going to happen.
Definitely. You got to stay optimistic and be positive, you know. And it's tough. In them low days, it is tough.
Like Mondays. Mondays, you're just like sitting there and you're like, such a long week, but you just think about all the good things.
Exactly. You know, dinner time, snack time.
Getting 2 essays done.
Hey, now.
Ooh. Hey, I had 6. Now I only have 2 left.
Hey.
Progress.
Hey, I heard you. Progress. That's a great thing.
Right? What's your favorite part about being a behavioral therapist? Because honestly, before this, I didn't know it was a thing, but I think it's super cool.
I think seeing the kids progress, seeing the kids like get better and get better, seeing the kids be happy, seeing the kids be treated like regular kids. Because there's this misconception that kids who have autism, kids who have disabilities, aren't able to do and be like regular kids, neurotypical kids. That's false. It just takes, when you work with someone who has disabilities, autism, etc., it just takes longer. It just takes more time, more love, more extra care. Like, if I were to teach a neurotypical kid to tie a shoe, it may take maybe a week or so. But when you deal with another type of kid who may have autism, it may take a month, it may even take a year. But you have to be willing to commit, stay engaged, and just keep going and going. Because you're going to have days where you don't want to do it. The kid doesn't want to do it. But you got to keep going and going and going. And they're going to fight you on it, but you got to keep going and going and going. And then when they finally tie your shoe, it's just like ice cream. You know, it's just like happiness. It's just like love. It's just like, it's everything. Because you taught somebody who thought they couldn't do it something that seems little, but to them it's like, it's huge, you know, it's fireworks, it's everything.
Have you had that ice cream moment with the kid yet?
In this field, yes, I have. I've had it in this field and I've had it in my teaching field. So it's definitely like, it keeps you going. Because anybody who's working with kids knows you have them days when you're ready to go to jail for beating up kids. You just ready to fight all the little kids, you know, and their parents. And then you have them days where it's just like you want to cry your eyes out because it's so frustrating. Then you have them days when you want to take them all to Disneyland because they're doing so good. But then you have them days where the kid who's quiet comes up to you, asks a question. The kid who sits in the back raises his hand, participates. The kid who doesn't do anything turns his homework in. And then the kid who's never paid attention passes the test. So you have them days where it's just like, ugh, it's frustrating. But then you got them days where it's like, this is the best feeling in the world.
The ups and downs,
yes.
The journey.
So shout out to all the teachers out there who put in the work because it's definitely not going unnoticed. You know?
And parents too.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, they don't get no awards for everything that they do.
They
Man,
don't.
I wish they can go gold stars for everything.
Man.
Gold star for doing the dishes, gold star for doing the laundry, gold star for taking the kids to school.
Man, because I wish mom was still doing my laundry, but that's a different subject for a different day, you know?
Yeah, shout out to the moms, shout out to the teachers.
Yes, you guys are important.
We only have a few minutes left, but how can people see these videos?
Okay, well, so I usually post them on my Instagram, Trey_RWYA, so it's TREY_RWYA. And I post a video every Thursday. And that's really it. I mean, we're just trying to spread love, spread positivity, spread encouragement, and just make the world a better place day by day.
And I think that you have done that by showing that you are living proof of God's faithfulness right here on the set of Shastas Journey. And if you're watching this, I hope that you were inspired by Treyvon's story and his willingness to share everything that God has done in and through him. If you want to share your story, go to shastasjourney.com, look up Treyvon, look up Shastas Journey, get inspired. And I hope that you realize to not settle and to know that it's okay not to be okay, because things will get better. God bless.